I'm making this short video to talk about how big your author name needs to be on your book cover. And it's important because most self-publishing or indie author guru experts will tell you all of the text has to be legible. So all of the text, the title and the author name should be really big and really bold, and so that you can see it clearly as a thumbnail. That's not true, and for some genres it's not even recommended. As you'll see in these genres, which is kind of paranormal romance, young adult, some of these author names, like this one's pretty legible, but most of these are very small. This one's pretty big too, but this is more dystopian. For dystopian, or like post-apocalyptic, you'd want a clear, bigger font. For a thriller or an adventure, you'd want something much bigger. For something like Stephen King, his name would cover half of the cover just because he's famous. And I'm not saying if you're not famous you should have a small author name. That it doesn't actually matter. It's really a condition of the genre. So depending on what genre you're writing in, you have to look at best-selling books in that genre and determine what the author name looks like in that genre. In these are all best-selling books by famous authors, but the author name in all of these, in most of these, is really small. Often there's a lot of space between the letters like this, which really spread out. For more of like a mystery, kind of a more interesting, kind of mysterious cover, you'd want a lot of space like that. And most of these have pretty clear titles also, because they're all kind of the same genre. But some of them are a little bit fancy. And the reason I pointed out, I recently made this cover, which is decent. I might use it, I might not use it, but my author name here is not huge. I actually had another one that I put on Facebook where it was even smaller. And all of the comments I got, like 100 comments, said the author name is too small, because all the advice out there says your author name has to be really big, it has to be clear, it has to be legible. But for this particular genre, that's bad advice, because the author name has to be small and elegant to match this genre. Two of my other favorite covers in the genre that I was kind of basing this off, Lauren Kate's Fallen. It's clear and it's legible, but it's also pretty small as far as covers go, and this one's about the same size. And so you can see what I want my cover to do is fit in with this genre, so that people who see my cover can say, yeah, that cover kind of looks like those other books. I'll actually probably change this to a serif font if I want to match these a little more closely. That doesn't matter. Of course, you don't want your cover to be exactly the same. My story isn't exactly the same, but you do want your cover to attract readers who have liked best-selling books in that genre. That's why best-selling books in similar genres often share design standards. And this is more of a supernatural paranormal romance, and that's why the fonts look a little more antique. This one's more of a dystopian techno thriller a little bit. I mean, not really. It also has supernatural elements, but it's more technological elements. There's dragons, but it's more like a machine that you can control with a device. But my point is just, you have one nice big strong title font, but with a lot of spacing between it, and then the author name can actually be very small, because that's what the convention for this particular genre is. That's different if you're writing a horror or a thriller. Then you would need a really big author name, because that's what readers of that genre come to expect. But the important thing is just that your cover fits in with books in the genre, not that your cover has really legible text, because the mistake that a lot of indie authors make is they make all of their title text really huge, and then it looks unprofessional and homemade, and it covers up all the art, and it just looks like, they try to make their author text really simple and bold, and all it does is kind of destroy the mood of the color of the cover. And the mood of the cover is the most important thing. Your cover, even without any fonts, the mood of your cover should convey the genre, and it should appeal to the readers of that genre. So you should have enough information, the genre, maybe the setting, just from the cover art, and then all the text just has to kind of get out of the way and not ruin it. So I'll stop this video here, but it's just something to consider because the advice out there is wrong.